for bringing us all here to this wonderful simcha and giving us so much brocha. And it is my tefillah that he should continue giving us so much brocha, us, our family, all of you here, and the whole of Klal Yisrael.
Amen.
I also want to welcome our Machatenester, Chanalopian. We are very privileged to have you come here all the way from England for the simcha, and also to Moishi Lopian as well, my brother. It is indeed an honor for us to have you here. Also, I want to welcome Granny Naomi, who is here at yet another great grandchild simcha, and she and Harry Rosen should all have much brocha from all their children for many, many years ahead.
Amen.
Mansingler said, I'm allowed to talk, but he gave me 3 conditions. He said, I'm not allowed to make a hesped, a eulogy. He said that it has to be short, and it must just be a Dvar Torah, that's it. So the first one, I'll try to comply, and won't be a hesped. Second one, short, I'll try to keep it short. Third one, just give a Dvar Torah. Well, you know, in our modern generation, you have the concept of a rebellious father. So I don't think I'm going to listen to him on that one. Instead, I want to try to give you a bit of a lesson in, I've termed it something called histology. You ever heard of histology? We're about to hear about it now. A bit of history. Many years ago, we were it was our December holiday, we were in Newcastle, South Africa, not England, and we were on a farm. And there was this, what can I say, this Hattis farm, this Doraisa, who was running the farm. And he said, Mason then was about 10 years old. And he said, you know, let me take your youngster to the next farm up the road for a short while. He'll see interesting things there, the animals and so on. So we asked Mason, and he said, yeah, good idea. And off he went with this farmer down the road. And we thought he was going to come back in an hour. Anyway, about 12 hours later, they returned. We were beside ourselves. We were with worry. We all the horrific pictures and who knows what. We're Baruch Hashem, late in the evening, along they come back with, and Desmond Simcha, 10, 11 years old. And the first words he said to us, he said, Mom, Dad, I'm starving. We said, what's up? He said, they try to give me every food in the world. You know, farmers like to give people food to eat. He said, but it wasn't kosher. And that's it. For 12 hours, they tried to ply him with every good delicatessen food in the world. He wouldn't eat it. And, you know, we know Meir Simcha as Meir Simcha. He's always got a happy disposition, such a nice fellow. But actually, in his core, he's a frum guy. And when it came to not eating something, when he was a boy of 10 years old, he would not eat it. Sof sipur, that's it, end of the story. And I think that is something that is part of his core and something that we admire very much. When we get to Chaya, it's interesting, in the middle of the shidduch process, and she was in England and Meir Simcha was here, and Chaya, she thought that there was potential here. She was potential in Meir Simcha, and she did something which most people wouldn't have the courage to do. She bought herself a ticket and came to South Africa. And she carried on the shidduch process from her own initiative. And not only did she show courage in that sense, but Baruch Hashem, when they got married, for her, she took the step to come to live in South Africa. Coming from London to live in South Africa is also a step. It's not easy. She showed a tremendous amount of courage. The Lopian family are a very tight-knit family. And for her to leave her family, to come here, and to set up her roots here, showed a tremendous amount of courage and also understanding correct priorities. And we think that is a very admirable trait in Chaya, and I think it's very, very worthy of mention. Anyway, just a little bit of, a touch of skin of what was going on at the time, and they were having a shidduch when they were busy meeting. So it was just before Pesach, about 2.5 weeks before Pesach. And Meir Simcha came back from England, and he said, Dad, I think this is it. I think, makes sense. I think we're on, on the right wicket. And so, logic, two men talking logic together, that's phenomenal. And we said, yeah, sounds great. So I said to him, what do you think? What's the next step? He said, well, what I think we should do, we should stay up for Pesach. And then after Pesach, we'll go over to England, and then I'll propose, and so on. And I said, perfectly logical. 2.5 weeks before Pesach, what Michigan goes off to London? No, we've got to stay here. We made one big mistake because dear Sharon was overseas in Lakewood at the time. And anyway, we got a call from on high. And we explained to Sharon, we said, dear Sharon, it makes sense. We'll go to England after Pesach. And she said to us, it makes nonsense. She says, when the light is green, you go. And you're going now. And we said, you can't get onto the planes, and you're in London, you're in America, and you've got to come back here. Anyway, that did not feature. The shortening of the story was that within a few days, we all met in Gatwick within 1 hour. And there we were. And there, it says in the week's pasuk, Vayetzu mitrom Afrika, Vayashalach licha sim lo isav, Vayavo el beit Lopion. There we were. The next minute, we were sitting there in front of Chana and Yitzchok Dovid, Zichrono Lebrocha, and we were talking to them. But there was another hitch in the whole process. We'd been told and primed that when there's a girl from England, there's a whole process. You've got to send a whole, when it comes to the engagement, you've got to send a whole bouquet of flowers, which is like Mount Everest. And then you've got to start with a watch. And after the watch, you've got the pearls, and after the pearls is the earrings. It's a whole process, when and how and what to do, and so on. And so what we did already from South Africa, we bought the Mount Everest of flowers. It cost 2,000 rands. 2,000 rands for these. Anyway, I still haven't got over it. And then we were sitting there with the Lopians, and now we're ready for the watch and the pearls and who knows what. And Hannah and the late Dovid sat us down and said, listen, we don't hold of this protocol. Don't even think about it. In fact, you should never have got the flowers. And I thought, well, it's a bit too late now. Don't worry about it. There's no such thing. And that was and is the Lopians. They are the nicest, easiest people you'll ever want to meet. And Baruch Hashem, we've had tremendous bracha together. And why do I mention all this histology? Because it's my bracha that our new edition, Yitzchok Dovid, will have all these character traits. You'll have Meir Simcha's inner core, Chaya's courage, and the wonderful, nice disposition of the Lopians, which actually is such an avoider. It doesn't come easy. It is a wonderful way that they have actually built themselves over so many years. And in his, the name which they never told us the name, as you know, but we knew it was a done deal. And the little boy Yitzchok Dovid. And when I went to Pirkei Avos, and in Pirkei Avos it says, Rav Chaneli ben Adosia haomer, Kol sheruach habrios lo yicha hamenu, ruach hamokom lo yicha hamenu. That a person that everybody loves, the Kodesh Baruch Hu, Hashem also loves such a person. And in the 48 ways of acquiring the Torah, Pirkei Avos, in Pirkei Avos it talks about some of them. It says such a person is ahuv, he's beloved. Ohev is hamokom, he loves Hashem. Ohev is habrios, and everybody loves him. Umisrachet min hakovod, he removed himself for any form of honor. And that was Yitzchok Dovid. He was such a special person. He was a person that just everybody warmed to. He was just a wonderful, special human being. And there's no one else, I think, that our little Yitzchok Dovid could be named after. And Be'ezrat Hashem, the wonderful exemplary midas that the late Yitzchok Dovid, showed to all of them should be also in our new little Yitzchok Dovid. And just to conclude, we don't live in a vacuum. I want to thank, first of all, from Shannon and my side, the Dasishur Shul, Rabbi Zalta, for creating a holding vessel for us to exist, and also Sameach, Rabbi Orbach, Rabbi Tabak, for the wonderful way that they have also created a whole infrastructure that all of us and our children can live in. We very much appreciate it, and we thank them. We thank you all for coming to here as well. You're all dear to us. You're all our support system. We thank you for coming, and Be'ezrat Hashem, all the brachas you wish us should come back to you many, many more times. Thank you.